Day 6. The argumentative tongue. Avoiding a fight is a mark of honor. Only fools insist on quarreling. Proverbs 20:30 from the New Living Translation. Unlike divisive people whose actions destroy unity between parties, argumentative people enjoy directly resisting anyone whose point of view is different from theirs. In fact, they seem to stay on a high alert for anything they can discuss that will get someone else on the defense. Never without fodder for a verbal fight, they can always depend upon any discussion of religion or politics to produce unending quarrels. Being argumentative is a futile use of the tongue and certainly not the way to win friends or influence people. It was legendary American cowboy turned entertainer Will Rogers who cautioned, "People's minds are changed through observation and not through argument." In other words, continuous negates one's ability to bring about change. Let's look at why people become quarrelers. Many quarrelers grew up in homes where arguing was as much a pattern as eating. Thus, they think it is normal to content. I grew up in a very contentious environment. I don't remember any discussion ever ending in an amicable resolution of the initial issue. Rather, it seemed that when the quarrels could not find more logs to put on the fire at hand, they simply kindled another fire and continued the process until they're tired of talking. I swore I would never engage in such an effective communication. On the other hand, I have a brother who always tries to draw people into discussions that often results in an argument. When he runs out of point to put forth or has no logical response to his opponent's rebuttals, he resorts to personal attacks on their character and name-calling. He was chosen to emulate the behavior he witnessed as a child. Another reason some people resort to quarreling is to bolster their own self-worth. They can only feel good about themselves by attacking the validity of other people's opinions, philosophies, and beliefs, and then maneuvering them into defending their positions. The quarreler's goal is not to add value to someone's life by showing him the error of his fact. In fact, Mrs. Quarreler would be greatly disappointed if her target responded, Oh, thank you for shedding light on this matter. I will change my thinking immediately. Why, such a conscience would end the argument. I have decided it's best to heed Solomon's advice. Beginning a quarrel is like opening a floodgate, so drop the matter before a dispute breaks out. Proverbs 17:14. When engaged by a quarreler, my favorite response is to say early on, with as much finality as I can muster, "Okay, that's your opinion." This will keep me out of the web of contention that quarrelers are experts at weaving. It takes two to tangle. Jesus cautions us to agree with your adversary quickly. Most people, except fellow quarrelers, will minimize or avoid discussion with a person who is argumentative. They find it too stressful to walk on eggshells, trying to limit their conversation to safe, non-debatable topics. One of the challenges for God's children is to learn to disagree without being disagreeable. We glorify God when we remain loving, even when we disagree with the views and values of unbelievers. We must be careful how we disagree, lest we compromise our testimony. Surely, we have the grace to register our protest without being mean-spirited. Benjamin Franklin was known to remark diplomatically, "On this point, I agree. But on the other, if you don't mind, may I take exception?" If you have a tendency to be contentious or argumentative, remember that it costs you absolutely nothing to respect someone's opinion, especially on matters that have no eternal consequences. Today's affirmation: I will resist being contentious by respecting everyone's right to have his own values and views.